Hello, Captains. This is Metaman. Today we're having a look at the German CVs that we've been given. The Rhine, the Weser, other ones that I still have. Other than that is I bought the Lowenhart. I have the Graf Zeppelin. The beginner guide for the German CVs. I'm not a perfect German CV captain. This is basically going over the basics. I am doing fine in my German CVs, but I'm a little bit more experienced, so I'd probably have an advantage over people that haven't played CVs a lot. Like I think I'm around 60 in my Graf Zeppelin, 67 in my Lowenhart, I think around 50, a little over, and I think I'm right around 50 in my Rhine. But that's probably just experience, not because of me being a good German CV captain yet. What's different with the Germans is that you have the AP rockets. You're going to be using these to be hitting the flat sides of cruisers. You can hit flat side of destroyers, but it doesn't do very well. The torpedo bombers is basically to go after destroyers. I don't always use them to go after the destroyers. I'll use them to still go after battleships. A lot of times on the Weser and the Rhine, I believe the torpedoes are a little faster, so I use them to hit the bow and stern of battleships, not try to hit the anti-torpedo belt, because they don't have a very high value of damage. So I try to hit the bow and stern to avoid that torpedo bulge. On the Lowenhart, I'll do the same thing. But what's different on the Lowenhart versus the Weser and the Rhine is the bombers. The Lowenhart has awesome HE bombs. They have good fire chance, and I like the reticle, the round reticle. If you lower it down pretty close to the target, you're hitting where you want to hit. Unlike the Graf Zeppelin, there is some challenges with getting the AP bombs to land correctly. On the Weser and the Rhine, you have the AP bombs. If you're acquainted with the Shikaku of the Japanese or the Enterprise, you know what the AP bombs, the reticle looks like. I'm going to show here just showing what the weapons you do have, and then I'm getting ready to go over my captains. Here in the Rhine, I'm going to show you the captain with the first 3 points that they give you. This is the way that I set them up. This does not mean that you can't set them up differently. This is just the way I set them up. And some will say that I do not have them set up correctly. All I can say is that I win with these setups. Doesn't mean that they're the best. It's just what I do. Here, my first captain point, I'm going to want to get. I want increased engine boost. My goal in almost every ship, I want speed, firepower, regen. That's what I want. And so right here, this is going to help me with speed boost. My next one down, increase speed. That's a pretty good analogy of what I'm wanting to build on. If I have a 10-point captain, I'm going to go with the same two. Then I'm going to head over here to take away the continuous damage. Here, some other would probably go with survivability expert. Here, I'm just going with the knock down the continuous damage. And then to round that off for the top skills, I am going to get the sight stabilization so that I can cut down on how long it takes me to aim. And these other ones are kind of irrelevant, except for my Lowenhart, which the Lowenhart and the Graf Zeppelin share a captain. You notice that I've switched it up here. I use advanced fire training because on the Lowenhart and the Graf Zeppelin, I use my secondaries a lot. Like I said, the Lowenhart has slow torps. My goal with the Lowenhart and the Zeppelin is a little differently than my Rhine and Weser. I go after the medium to larger ships in my Lowenhart and Graf Zeppelin right off the bat. I go after destroyers, but I'm not afraid to let them live till the later portion of the game, because if it's them and I left, my secondaries is going to kill them. Yeah. And someone will say, nope, you can't do that. I'm just saying I have videos showing it, and I have good win rates in both, and that's what I do in them. So this would be my 19-point captain. I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and we'll move over into showing you how to use each of the different types of planes. Okay, captains, I have 5 ships set up. I'm going to go over the different types of attack. I had someone asking me how to even push the buttons for each of to acknowledge or pick. Right at the bottom of the screen, you can see a 1, 2, and 3. The 1 is under the rockets, 2 is under the torpedoes, 3 is under the bombs. The fire extinguisher and the airplanes is just automatic. So here I'm going to push the 1. I always push it twice. Right there I take off. Now you're going to use the same as the WSAD keys. We know that they're going to be right in front of me. Here I'm going to push M for map while I'm still holding down my button. And I'm going to make my CV go way up here so that I'll be closer to the battle. So we know we're using our rockets right now. I use WSAD to move my planes back and forth. I'll use my mouse to look around to the left and right. They're going to start showing up in a minute. So rockets, what you're wanting to do is create a perfect broadside with the cruisers or destroyers. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and shoot, we'll say the Furry Taco first. I'm going to come along the side. WSAD, you see me looking back with my mouse back towards the Furry Taco. So it does take a little bit of getting used to. I'm going to push the button, get close, try to get that X close to there. Right there, we got 3 citadels. So I'm using the mouse here, or I could keep looking this way, but use the mouse, turn back around with your WSAD after you get past. This time I'll hit the Königsberg. Shoot when you're close. I'm wanting to get the X right by the middle of his ship. Pop. Another citadel. I use the mouse to turn around. I don't use a regular mouse. I use the Powerball, or whatever you want to call it. Turn around. A good habit to do is go outside of the 6 kilometers so that the AA will stop firing on you. Here, watch when I get the X in the middle. Try to get it right towards that water line. That's what you're aiming for. So when you're in an actual battle, like I said, you'll try to get outside of 5.5, 6. Mostly 6, especially when you get to higher tiers. But shoot right before. We're trying to stay right on the broadside, just like AP. Shoot. More citadels. Okay. I'm going to use the rockets one more time. Now I want to show you what happens when you look at a different angle. You've seen that I was hitting pretty perpendicular to that side. This time I'm going to go a little bit off angle, or I'll show a shot on hitting the destroyer. And we'll show you the damage difference. Once again, you got to use the mouse or the wheel, whichever one you use. Slowing down, trying to find the... See, Now that's the thing, is if that DD does not light up, you won't see him in time to shoot your rockets. So when you're dying as a DD, it's really your fault. You're being lit up. Because me going slow like that, I still didn't have time to target him. But right here, I'll go ahead and start targeting early because we know he's here. Hit him on the side. We're not going to do nearly as much damage. Usually I average right around 700-800 up to 1400, I think it was. Maybe it was 1140. But once again, if the DDs are getting shot and they want to complain, it's their fault for getting spotted. Because watch this. As soon as I see him, I'll click on the button. I can't even get it there to get on him. So I'll just shoot those off. Here, let's go ahead and hit a target where we're not lined up. Okay, I'll go into the Königsberg off an angle. I got one citadel. Let's go even a little farther. I think I got a little lucky that time. You go off angle on these cruisers and you do not get nearly the same damage. Got 3,500 that time. You see that it's not the same. We'll try those one more time. I'm going to bring I pushed my M again. I'm going to bring my guy a little bit closer. The one thing with CVs is you need to be able to do a little bit of multitasking. Like you WSD to control, mouse to look around. You got to be able to use your thumb to go over and hit that M key to bring up the map. And then what you would do is when you bring up this map, now I brought up the map. Now I would click on the map and that will create this line, this tangent line, where my ship's going to go. And then I click M again to get back out of that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what happens if I hit that same ship, but him being straight on, or close to being straight on. $170. Let's hit this Dallas straight on. Pretty close to straight on. 1100. Bottom line is it's a lot less damage. Now let's show what happens when it hits this battleship. Once again, it's going to take you a little time to get used to moving that mouse, using WSAD, hitting that M. This is just a beginner's guide. It takes a little time to get used to it. Here, I'll try to hit this Britann. Hit a little bit high. You see 500. You're not going to get the damage on these. Even if you hit bow or stern. Here, I'll try to get lined up. I might not even made it this time. I didn't, of course. Yeah, these new rockets, they're a little bit... If you don't aim in time, or if you don't get that button clicked in time, you're not going to get those rockets off. So turning around, this time I'll try to hit end of the ship where he would have thinner armor. Aim at that front. Still, not even 1,000. So that's, okay, so now we're back at the ship. And you got to push F to get back to the ship after you're done with your salvos. Here I pushed number 2. It brought up my torpedo bombers. I do like the art that they have created with some of these airplanes. I like the Ark Royals also. Those biplanes are pretty nice. Here I'll show the torpedoes on the run. Just line it up. Outside that, in that yellow area, you would be too close. So here they are pretty fast. They get on target. They don't hit really hard. So you've seen that. Now let's see. I didn't pay attention if I hit bow or stern. I'm going to try to hit stern with one of these. With the one on our right, I might have hit mid still. So that didn't really make that big a difference. But what these are supposed to be for, now on these, as in the Vesser and the Rhine, I can see these being used on destroyers. On the Lowenhart, the torpedoes are so slow. I know most will disagree, but I do believe that the secondaries are meant to be using on these destroyers late in game. I have a really good Graf Zeppelin video if you wanted to see how late game what I do with the secondaries. I'm going to show them one more time, just because this time I'm going to be using it on the battleship. But in my Lowenhart and in my Graf Zeppelin, which both of them are over 60%, I play a different style. I play going after the medium to bigger ships. If I can get the small ships, great. But if I can't, I'm okay with that, because late game, when it's them and I trust my secondaries and my planes that I can get on them to do the damage. So here I'm just trying to hit the stern or bow. Let's see what happens. Looks like it still hit mid. Let's see if I can do this. No. Well, I might have been a little too close that time. No, that was too close. Let's try it one more time. Turn all the way around. This time we'll try to get one of the torpedoes to hit one of the sides.
I think you have a... I didn't know.
There we got the hits. Created a flooding. But that's all we need to know about the torpedo bombers. And I think that's why the Lowenhart has the slower torpedoes, is because between the secondaries, and if the torpedoes were faster, it'd probably be too overpowered towards the destroyer, especially late game. Now, the AP bombers, on these Germans, they've kind of changed. They're definitely high flight. You got to look down to see where your reticle is. So it's kind of hard to line it all up. Let's see what we can do here. You want to wait until... You notice I waited until the reticle filled up. And a lot of times you will not have the perfect spot that you hit it, and they're coming towards you or going away. And what I will do is I will either put W or S to be able to slow myself down like that, or speed up like that, and try to get those right in target. That time we missed. We'll try it one time or a couple times on this battleship. Like I said, you're trying to get it where you see that reticle, and as it gets larger, you're trying to get it where that'll be the perfect time to land right in the middle. Try to get it one more time. And like I said, I haven't used these guys a lot. I use my Lowenhart a lot more. I like her. I like secondary builds. I use it on my Zep. Let's try getting a little lower and see what it does. That went a little bit more towards the middle, and we got a lot better hit. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe you have to wait a little bit after it hits to that center. So that's been our bombs. Our bombs would be number 3. You can see it at the bottom right underneath. Our torpedoes would be number 2. Our rockets would be number 1. Hopefully you guys understood what I was trying to show you here. That will end the beginner guide to German CVs. This is meta_man 2002. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If so, and you find it helpful, please subscribe. It really helps me out. Lets me know that people are watching. You guys have a great day.